Yes, it was the German war machine which introduced steroids to its troops, trying to make them more aggressive. It was the Russians who introduced them to sport. They took the Rome Olympics by storm in 1960 and created one of sport's enduring controversies.
Anabolic steroids are a group of synthetic chemicals. They're derivations of the male sex hormone testosterone, which have just been slightly modified to promote anabolic actions, bodybuilding actions, rather than the androgenic actions which develop sexual characteristics.
Anabolic steroids have particular appeal to those in the power-related sports, from weightlifting to football. And on the face of things, they work.
Scientific study has shown that without a doubt that these things do help the performance of some athletes, but the circumstances in which they work are relatively specific in that they need to be people who have previously trained in weight resistance training. They need to take high doses of the steroids, very much above the doses which would normally be used, and they need to continue the weight training during the period of time that they're on the steroid dose. And above that, they need to have a high-protein diet. With these circumstances, they will get strength gains and they will get gains in lean body weight, or put another way, their muscles will get bigger.
But early in the piece, the major sporting authorities took action to stamp out their use.
The International Olympic Committee, back in 1967 or 68, when it was re-established, were the first group to ban the use of drugs, and I think there were three main reasons. Firstly, the fact that there were significant health risks, and this is not only due to steroids, but the use of stimulants at that stage as well. Secondly, because they wanted to maintain a sporting ethos, the matching of natural capabilities, which I think most Australians would like to keep sport match between athletes and not pharmacologists. And thirdly, of course, the use of certain drugs is illegal and subject to criminal statutes in Australia and overseas.
There are side effects involved with this because the athletes do not take the doses that we would normally use in medical practice. And with these side effects, there are some very serious complications. The most recent one that caused a lot of publicity was a report in the Annals of Internal Medicine 1984 where a young weightlifter died of cancer of the liver, directly responsible anabolic steroids.
The steroid problem was at its height at the 1983 Pan American Games, where the drug violations completely overshadowed the competition. Many medal winners were disqualified after testing, and many more athletes chose to abandon the games rather than risk being tested. Anabolic steroids come in tablet form, or you can take them intravenously. And while they're banned by almost every world amateur sporting body, they're ridiculously easy to obtain. You can get them on prescription from your local doctor, or if you don't want to leave any record, you can get them from a tame chemist, or even from a friend of a friend in some gyms. And they're not expensive. A course of 100 tablets will cost between $30 and $50. Bodybuilding, because of its very nature, the quest for bigger and better muscle development, has long been associated with steroid use. The sports administrators like Paul Graham are trying to clean up its image.
Well, we're totally opposed to drugs and anabolic steroids because our sport, bodybuilding, right? The International Federation of Body means bodybuilding. We're trying to create and develop healthy bodies with natural means, natural vitamins, natural training methods, and everything that's associated with good life and good health.
But it's a complex issue for the athletes, especially the professional athlete. Tom Platz is one of the most popular bodybuilding champions on the international circuit. They call him the Golden Eagle. He's a professional athlete who's won the Mr. America and Mr. Universe titles.
Yes, I have used them. And you'll find I learned about steroids from swimmers. I mean, you'd be surprised. Not only bodybuilders resort to drugs to modify their training, athletes of every kind. And I'm not in favor of it at all. I think it's very wrong. And I'm not proud of the fact. But this does exist. Now, I wish there was a way to just wipe it off the face of the earth and there were no drugs. That would be great. I'm all for that. I'm all for steroid testing. Although the only problem with testing is most athletes will find ways to get around the tests. And sometimes these ways are even more harmful. The drugs they take to counteract the tests are more harmful than the steroids themselves. So it's in a vicious circle.
So are you still taking them now?
Not all year long, yes, but before the major event of the year I do. I can rationalize and say, well, there's $100,000 up well, we'll take a slight risk, take steroids in a safe way. But still, I'm not happy. I'm not proud of the fact that I take steroids. But I do. I take it under supervision. I've never had any severe effects from it, although there is a risk involved, and any drug has side effects, especially when you're dealing with hormonal manipulation.
Now, but you know the risks.
Sure.
You've heard of some of the big problems. You may, you know, have that in the back of your mind, yet you still go on and do it.
Again, going back to that need. I mean, if I don't get there, and if I'm going to die inside, spiritually and mentally. And if there's a slight risk, there's a slight risk involved in crossing the street. There's a slight risk involved, more of a risk involved in taking steroids, especially if you take steroids the right way and avoid abuse. There's a risk involved, but it might get an athlete closer to their goal. And to them, that is life and death. I mean, it is life and death to an athlete to compete and to do their utmost.
It could very well be a question of life or death.
Yes.
And it could be death.
It could be.
Is it worth it?
To an athlete, yes. I hate to say that, but that's how intense an athlete feels. An athlete lives it, needs it, will die for it, not commit suicide for it. I mean, I would never take a steroid. If I knew I'd take a steroid, and I would definitely die from taking a steroid, and I'd win the contest, no way. You'd be surprised at the athletes that say no, and that I know. Oh my God. You know, I know some people in LA, some big names, and every one of these people takes steroids. I mean, the public's gonna go, oh my God, this is terrible. Oh, hey, but listen, I'm exposing myself, and I'm being honest, and I hope that people don't take this the wrong way. I just want people to realize the quest of an athlete, what it means to an athlete.
But while athletes like Tom Platz are drawn to steroids by their burning competitive drives, others like world triple jump record holder Willie Banks have an entirely different outlook.
If I do it, and I'm doing it naturally, and they're doing it on chemicals, then I will be the natural world record, and they'll be the chemical world record, and I don't worry about those kinds of things.